Inspirational speaker Chantaul Jordan joined me on the show to chat about goal setting for the year 2016. Today, Chantaul is back to chat about time management. So many people complain about not having time to do the things they want to. Well, Chantaul has some great time management tips to help you get the most out of your day. Chantaul, welcome back.
Hi, thank you very much, Varshan.
Firstly, why is it important for people to learn how to manage their time more effectively?
Thinking back to the end of last year, I heard many of my clients and friends saying, another year gone. I can't believe this year's over. Where did the time go? Oh, the old classic, time flies. Well, another 2 weeks and January is over. So before we realize it, another year will have gone. And then another decade and so on. And we think of things that we wanted to achieve but didn't have the time seems to be a popular reason or an excuse. And this would make us feel very unfulfilled and with a whole lot of regret because we didn't lead the life that we wanted to or planned to. So let us not be one of those people. At this point, let me just say that we cannot manage time. We must rather see it as we need to learn how to master ourselves so that we can make the best use of our time.
Can you tell us some of the ways in which people tend to waste time?
You're probably guessing Facebook as a number one, and you're probably right. So first and foremost, if you love social media, set time limits on this, because before you know it, you think you've spent a half an hour on Facebook and 2 hours have passed, and you don't know what's happened to the time. There are obviously some time wasters that we habitually do that we know about, but some of them we don't even realize that we're doing, and at the end of the day, we wondered where the day went to, and we didn't achieve what we wanted to achieve. Just for 1 week, I would recommend carrying a schedule with you and getting an idea of where you spend your time, all your actions, your discussions, even the mundane things like bathroom or transport, family, friends, etc. And then you'll also notice where you can improve on. Other time wasters that are very obvious are distractions and demands from others. Because if you're always pleasing others and doing what others want you to do and saying yes when you wanted to say no, eventually you will have finished your day and you're running around for everybody else and achieving the life that they want to lead instead of leading the life that you want to lead. Another not so obvious one that I see, especially in the work that I do when I coach people, is people spend a lot of time not being present. So in other words, they're worrying about the past or they're anxious about the future. And the power isn't in the moment when you're worrying about the past or the future. So it's really to get in the present, and that's probably a talk for another day. But yes, we waste a lot of time that we don't even know we're wasting.
Let's discuss now some practical time management tips. How can we save time and get more out of our day?
Well, the three basics is to organize, to prioritize, and to schedule. And once we've sorted that out, we can then look at what we are doing every single day. And what I'd like to recommend is to do a tiny little action every day. Otherwise, that goal that you're wanting to achieve is too daunting. So, for example, I wanted to write a book. But I think of writing a book as such a daunting task. So I put it off. And I put it off until I get my 6-month sabbatical or until I'm on holiday at the end of the year and that time never came. And then somebody said to me, just write for an hour a day or write 3 pages. So in other words, set up your own action that you want to take every single day to accomplish that big task of yours. And don't think of it as a big task. All you've got to do is write for an hour. That's all you need to do. And I think a lot of us are like that. We see that garage that we need to have cleaned. We see all the filing that needs to be done. We say, another time, when I've got time. And obviously that never arrives. So we definitely need to prioritize things. Often when we think of work that we need to do, we feel we need to have to be so disciplined because it's a tedious task and we've got to really work hard at it. I'd like the listeners to really think about the end result when they're in this dilemma, and think of all the rewards as opposed to the tiny little actions that they need to take to get to that reward. So, for example, I've really got to sit down, and I've got to take up my pen, I've got to take up my book, and I've got to write, and what am I going to say? Think of that finished book and all the accomplishments that come with it. And I promise you that will really help you if you're thinking of the pleasure that is derived out of the activity and not actually the punishment that you think it might be.
Well, many people complain that with a full work day and family commitments, they don't have enough me time. So how can one create more me time for this year?
Me time is essential, and I'm so pleased that you asked that question, because a lot of people say, I don't have time. I advocate meditation to a lot of my clients, and they just say, I'm too busy, I haven't got the time. And that's when I say, if you're too busy to meditate, that is actually when you really need to meditate, because there's a lot of benefits in meditation, and too many to go into now. But the one main one is that you are on your own, so you're spending time with yourself, and instead of being out there and getting the stimulation from out there, from people, activities, etc., you are quietening your mind, and you're just spending that time with yourself, whether it's visualizing what you're going to be doing for the day, creating your day, your week, your year, whether it's anticipating a meeting and going through it in your mind. Whatever you're doing in that meditation, that's very important. Now, a lot of my people, probably only about 5 or 10% of my groups that I ask who meditates stick up their hands. I'm very pleased to say that that is changing with time. I'm finding more and more people are meditating nowadays. But I must tell you about the one chap. He put up his hand and he said, yes, I've meditated. I've meditated twice, but it didn't work for me, so I didn't do it again. So I just want to offer anybody out there that says that they don't have time to meditate, that is when you really need to. And those people that think they can't, you're probably doing a lot better than you think you are, because there's no right or wrong way. You meditate, you try and quieten your mind, and that is the exercise. And the more that comes up for you, the more you know you need to meditate. So that's what I would highly recommend for anybody. And then just lastly, remembering to organize, prioritize, and to schedule is experiment what works for you to get the most out of your day and your week, because at the end of this year, you want to look back and say, wow, it was really a meaningful year, it was a productive year, and to stay stress-free because you've been so self-aware. So I'd like to wish everybody well with their time management for this year.